5-year-old little boy was jumping in happiness around the dumps when he found half-eaten sandwich there, which someone just threw through the dustbin while passing through the car. But it fell outside the bin, making little kid run to that as soon as possible. He opened that fastly, and there was one of the widest smiles on his face when he saw half sandwich in the paper wrapped around it. His stomach rolled hard as soon he had that sandwich in his hand. After 30 hours of hunger, at least he had something tasty to eat now. He took a first bite, but it crunched his nose because of the weird taste. Maybe something was put too much extra. That's why the man threw this. But he was not in a position to complain that, especially when he knew that he had no assurance that would he even get his next meal or not. He was about to take the second bite. That's when he saw a dog barking at him. He hid the sandwich with his hands at the back. I don't have anything to give you. Go, let me eat that. Jungkookff cried a bit when the dog was still not going away from him. I'm hungry. 5-year-old kid yelled in frustration while trying to shoo away the dog as he was not budging. At last, having no option, little dog-eyed boy started to run, but so did the dog. After running for good 2 minutes, he found a huge box on the end of a secluded alley, where he spent most of his life. He jumped inside that, covering the box. When he saw that dog was not there, he was about to come outside, but that's when he heard a loud gunshot, making him fall back in the box due to the terror. He hugged his body, the sandwich fell from his hand due to shivering. He saw through a hole in the box, two men coming there. You think you can manage to escape us without paying a price? Taehyungff grunted his teeth, staring at the soul of a man in front of him, whose breath was stuck in her throat after having no chance for survival. Taehyungff snatched the black case from the man and threw in the left, where Jiminff catched that effortlessly after kicking the last man he had to knock out. Taehyungff pulled the trigger with a maniac smile, and soon it was a bullet passed through the man's head, making him fall lifelessly on the floor. Jiminff grabbed the neck collar of only a live person. They were whispering something into his ears. Tell your boss that better not mess with us from now on. Jiminff stood on his feet and winked at Taehyungff, asking him to leave this place as soon as possible. Taehyungff wiped his blood-stained hands, and they both took a step to move forward, but a faint noise made them hold their steps and look at each other. Did you hear something? Jiminff looked around and shrugged his shoulder. Maybe any cat or something. Taehyungff nodded, and they both took one more step, but this time they both again heard that sound. It was someone crying. Is there anyone here? Asked Jiminff and cautiously pulled out his gun while aiming it at every possible sound. Taehyungff too pulled out his gun, both having back to each other. Maybe this side. Jiminff nodded and went along with Taehyungff. It was a metal box. Taehyungff carefully uncovered that, only to see a kid shivering and trembling in that box. Hey, who are you? Taehyungff and Jiminff both looked at the boy, who lifted his head to look at them while crying and sobbing hardly. It was just a little kid, barely 5 or 6 years old. Please don't hurt me. Taehyungff and Jiminff stared at each other and then looked at the doe-eyed boy, who was holding a torn-out, dusty stuffed toy of bunny. His tight hold on that bunny was enough to showcase his fear and nervousness. We won't do any harm to you, but tell us who are you and how you came here? Asked Taehyungff, putting his gun back, and asked Jiminff too, to pull out his gun so the kid won't be scared. And also, what did you see here? Jiminff added, the main point, knowing that he is the sole witness of what happened here. I didn't see anything, don't hurt me. His voice was shaking along with his body due to the fear of losing his life. Where are your parents? Asked Jiminff while looking at his watch impatiently. But something in their heart broke when the kid shook his head. I don't have. Meanwhile, Taehyung called to his brother, informing about the situation. Taehyung cut off the call after nodding at what Namjoon said. Hyung asked us to take kid with us. He saw all this. Now our rivals will try to get information from him. So he need to come along with us. Meanwhile, little Jungkook cried hard while shaking his head and strengthening his grip on the box. I won't go. Please leave me. I won't tell anyone. Jiminff peeked inside to look at doe-eyed boy carefully. Listen, kid. We don't have enough time and come on. I promise we won't do any harm to you. But those guys would definitely do if he left you here. Little boy looked at them to confirm, and after having no other choice, he came outside. But he closed his eyes shut when he saw all blood splashing around there and bodies. Taehyung put a hand on kid's eyes and took him to a car. Little kid had his heartbeat racing all the time. Meanwhile, Jimmy scrunched his nose at the smell coming out of boy clothes, but didn't want to look like a jerk, so he didn't complain at that. 1 hour later, they reached at their mansion. Meanwhile, Jungkook's eyes grew wide at such lavish palace. But a wave of fear rushed through his body when he saw the man last with the guns and weapons. He hid behind Taehyung, who take a look at the extreme scared child. Here is a kid, Jiminff commanded, and the guards tried to look less scary by putting their weapons behind. Taehyung, take him inside. I'm just coming in 5 minutes. Taehyung nodded and took Jungkook inside, who was getting more astonished after seeing the amazing interior of the house. Everything was something he never ever saw, except some billboards outside of the huge buildings. Taehyung called a maid, asking her to help the kid to take a bath and change. After around 20 minutes, everyone was at the living room waiting for the kid. Jin smiled widely after seeing a small kid coming outside. He was very fond of little kids, but the body language of Jungkook was making it very clear that he was scared, a lot. His legs were trembling with a tight hold on his bunny plushie. We are not any harm to you, little kid. Jin approached the little boy and kneeled in front of him, making him timidly look at him. Jin's heart swelled when he saw small tears in doe eyes of a bunny boy. Don't hurt me. Jin glared at Taehyung and Jiminff, who got busy in staring at ceiling in order to avoid Jin's stare. Hoseokff too joined Jin to help him. Jungkook looked at them to make sure that they are no harm to him. Wide smiles of Hoseokff and Jin somehow made him to believe them. Come here, little boy. Namjoon called Jungkook, asking him to come to them. Kook looked at Jin and Hoseokff, and after getting a nod from them, he slowly moved to the couch where rest of the members were sitting. Jin and Hoseokff too came there. What's your name? Asked Yoongi, intimidating Jungkook, who swallowed his saliva at such tone. Yoongi. Jin shushed Yoongi, who rolled his eyes and then leaned back on the couch. What's your name, kid? Namjoon asked sweetly, trying to create a friendly environment for the kid to spill whatever they need to know. Jungkook, my name is Jungkook. Such a sweet name. What's your age? Maybe 5. Oh, so do you have anyone to take care of you? Jungkook shook his head in tinny. What did you see there, Jungkook? Jungkook gulped and then looked at Taehyung and Jiminff. I saw them fighting, but then I got scared and didn't peek outside again. Jungkook shut his eyes and whispered what he was asked. You didn't see anything else? Jungkook thought for a moment. and then looked at Jiminff. The case this Hyung had, that one. I saw those men opening that case. Oh, you saw them opening that case? Yes, I saw. Did you see what was the password to open that? How would he know, Yoongi? He is just a kid. 769467. Their jaw dropped at what Jungkook said. Namjoon asked Jimin to take that case here and try to open that with the set password. Are you sure that it is the password? Asked Hoseok, and Jungkook nodded after closing his eyes, and those scenes flashed in front of his eyes, making him confident about his answer. Little did Namjoon get to know that Jungkook had a photographic memory. Jimin came with that case and asked the password again. Jungkook repeated that again and Jimin tried that. All of them had shock written on their face when it turned out to be correct one. Wow, he has such a sharp memory. Taehyungff praised the little kid who smiled at the appreciation. Jimin handed that box to Namjoon, who kept it aside. Do you want to go to your old life back? Jungkook nodded in return. But you said you have no one to take care of. I don't have. So how would you live on your own, and that too when those men must be searching for you if they get to know about you? Listen kid, you can live here. You will not have to roam on the streets at such tender age. Namjoon felt a bit guilty because the reason why he wanted this kid to be under their wings was so different and selfish than Jin. Jin wanted to really take care of the child, meanwhile he wanted him to work for him in the future. He knew that the kid had great potential, especially his mind. Jungkook said yes after bit efforts from Hoseok and Jin. You can call us Hyungs, okay? Okay Hyung, Jin Hyung. Jungkook repeated after Jin. Namjoon was checking some papers in his office room. That's when Yoongi barged inside and sat on one of the secluded chairs. Why you want that kid to be here? What do you think? What I think, that doesn't matter. What matters is that it is not a life to be with kids. I know very well, Hyung. Good thing that you know. So tell Jin Hyung and Hoseok too. Don't get too much attached with the kid. It will hurt them at last. Namjoon nodded, but deep down it was the only thing he was worried about. Meanwhile, little Cook's stomach growled loudly when he saw Cooks preparing the dinner. He was hungry from last 2 days, but he didn't have enough courage to ask for food by himself. Meanwhile, Jimin and Taehyung were eating the snacks while watching their favorite movie. In the living room area, Jungkook silently went to them and sat on the mattress on the floor, pretending to watch the movies. But his gaze and real were at the snacks they were having. But they both were so much in the movie that neither they noticed his presence nor his hunger. Doe-eyed boy had small tears by now. He was feeling churnings in his stomach by every passing 5 minutes. He closed his eyes to feel the last pain, but then walked away from there. But Yoongi saw all that, so he made a sign for Jungkook to come to him. Little Cook approached him with a bit hesitation. Do you wanna eat something? Asked Yoongi, in response of which Jungkook nodded while keeping his head low. Come with me. Jungkook starts to follow Yoongi with his little steps, which were moving towards kitchen. Is anything prepared by now? Asked Yoongi. Yes sir, bulgogi is ready. Okay, get it on a plate and keep it a less spicy. Jungkook's eyes shined with brightness, with a beam of happiness when he saw the freshly made food, something he barely got in his life at the Rhodes. Come on, I'll keep it on the dining table. You eat it there while being comfortable. Jungkook again followed Yoongi like a little puppy to a dining area. Yoongi put the bowl on table Meanwhile, Jungkook was struggling to get on a chair. Yoongi smiled internally and helped Little Cook to sit on a chair. Jungkook thanked Yoongi, and it is how the impression of Yoongi in the little boy's mind changed a lot after this small gesture of kindness.